Canva Code just got a massive upgrade to version 2.0 and it's available to everyone for free. So this is a new Canva update you have to know about. I built this whole website with it, including a resources page and a feedback form, which collects responses for me automatically. And the best part is you can now edit your code just like any other design. So today you learn what's new in Canva Code 2.0, how to edit and customize the code like a normal design, and how to collect data easily with it too. I'm Natalia and I help creators like you turn content to income, freedom, and a brand you're proud of. So let's do this. Very quickly, for anyone who hasn't used Canva Code before, this is the feature where you describe what you want in plain language and Canva writes the code and builds it for you. So say a quiz, a calculator, a form, a little app, a website, a mini game. So anything that's interactive that people can click or fill. It used to be that you'd have to know how to code to do something like this, but with Canva Code, it just does it for you. It's super cool. And there are 3 big changes with 2.0 that I want you to know about. The first one is that you can now edit everything Canva builds for you right inside the Canva editor. So your fonts, your colors, your text, and your images exactly like you would with any other design type in Canva. Before this, if you wanted something changed, your only option was to go back to the prompt and ask again and again and hope that you got there eventually. And the second one is that you have new ways to start. So we've got over 50 new code templates. You can import your own HTML and you can build coded elements inside your other designs too, like presentations and whiteboards. And the third one is publishing. Everything adapts to any screen size automatically. You have the preview, it's responsive. So again, a very important part. And of course, since it's a new design type, your whole team can work on it in real time. You can collaborate. Canva also says generation is around 75% faster than it was, which I definitely have to say I did notice. And all of this is available on the free plan too. So there are 3 ways that you can now start a code project from Canva. First is from the homepage. Now, code is now shown as a new design type. So right where you find all the other design types, you can just click on it and open a blank one. And from here, you will be able to prompt it from scratch. So this is one way. Second, you can also import your own HTML. So if you've already built something somewhere else, I'll show you exactly how that one works a bit later in this video. And the third way is starting from a template. So I'll jump to the templates just to show you what this is. I'll maybe search for code, but I don't actually have to do it. I'll just go for a category and you'll see from here, we've got over 50 of them now. So there are different landing pages and portfolios, fun apps, trackers, quizzes, all sorts of really, really useful things to start from. So I'll go ahead and use something from here. So let's use this one. And from here, I can just customize this template as with any other template from the library. And we're taken into the editor again, just like with any other design type. What you can see in here is the whole preview, and this is our editor for code elements. Now, I've actually decided that I am going to start from scratch just because I have a very specific build. So let's say I'm running a workshop for my community on editing videos in Canva, and afterwards, I actually want to send everyone just a simple link to grab all the resources that I might have mentioned during the training, and also hopefully for them to give me feedback. And I'm going to go ahead and ask Canva for a website that's going to be kind of with 5 different sections here. So I'm planning a thank you at the top, then the resources section, then a feedback form and a short section promoting my paid offer, and then a simple way to just get in touch. So I'm going to paste a very, very long, very detailed prompt in here, but these are basically the basics I'm asking for, and let's submit this to Canva. Okay, we've got a result. Now, I'm actually pretty impressed. The structure is exactly what I asked for. I think everything is pretty much in the right order. Yes, so this is definitely a great first draft. Of course, there are some things I would like to change though. So some of the visuals aren't quite me. We don't have the resource buttons kind of linked up to the actual resources. The feedback form is not maybe necessarily asking what I want to ask. And of course, I want to show you how to fix all of that. And this is the part that I feel like I'm the most excited about because this is what makes Canva Code 2.0 so much more powerful from what we've had before. Now, the majority of elements in here are now editable like any other design. So I can click into this heading in here, and maybe I want to swap the image. I can just jump to the elements and search for something. So I can very easily grab something like this and pop it in the background, and you can see that this is very easily edited for me. I could jump into my own photos and grab a photo from here and just, have a visual, so you can see how easy it is to make everything feel more on brand. Now, another thing from here, you can grab the text and then change the colors. I've got my brand kit in here, and I could very easily just change that. Same goes for the fonts. I can go to my kind of source Sans Pro, and I can make it bigger if I want to. So this is really, really cool. Of course, at the moment, this is not necessarily the most accessible, so I'll show you in just a moment how you can change certain things, but there will be certain things that will not be possible to edit this way. So for example, I cannot just grab this piece of text and just drag it somewhere else. Now, I would really love to be able to do this. Same goes for the buttons. I cannot really kind of access that button in a different way. So I would have to edit it by prompting, which is another part. Now, I do want to mention before I show you how you actually edit these kind of uneditable things, I want to mention that something in here really surprised me. Now, when you're inside a code design specifically, you actually won't see the brand tab in here, right? So this is missing. Normally you would see it in here in the editor. At the very beginning, I thought it was just a glitch, but it just isn't there. Now, don't worry, your brand is definitely not gone. So again, if you jump to the color palette, you still see your brand kit in here, and you can actually swap your brand kits. Same goes for the fonts. You will see the section from your own brand kit. So it is kind of there. It's just not fully there. So you won't have access to things like your images and graphics that you have saved in your brand kit. That's why I feel like it's really, really useful to have your project set up with your own brand folder as well, so that it's very easy to access. This way, you saw me access my thumbnail images from here as well. So this is why it's really great to be organized in Canva beyond just the brand kit, which you can find out how to do by watching this video in here. And speaking of your brand kit, this is a pro-only feature. So if you want to have all your fonts and colors and images and videos, anything you want to add to your brand kit, everything in one place to make everything on brand very easily. I've got a 30-day free trial for Canva Pro that you can grab in the description and test all the fun features that it gives you. Okay, so very quickly, let me go through this and make it a little bit more mine. So for example, I can jump to my uploads and grab this image to swap for the workshop deck. I can keep going for the different visuals. Of course, I don't think that one is kind of fitting for this one, but you can see how easy it is to swap the different visuals. And also, I should have mentioned that you can actually jump into the text. It's not just that you're changing the fonts and the size and the colors. You can actually say something different. So you can actually directly change the text. So this is what I love about it. You're not really stuck with what you were given. You can adapt some of it in seconds using the exact same tools that we know so well and use every single day within Canva. There are, of course, some limitations. There will be things that you can change just by clicking into this. And again, I'll show that to you in just a second. Also, while we're at it, something that I've noticed in here as well is that when you jump into the text, normally when you change the font and change into something specific, it actually prompts you to change all. I don't see this option in here, nor do I see the brush option, which is something that I use all the time, to be fair, all the time, every day. So these are kind of the tools that help you design much faster that are not really available in this type. However, I feel like as kind of code develops within Canva, we should be getting more and more options like this. So again, I would just jump in here and maybe kind of copy it by missing this brush from the top in here. Okay, but let's keep going because I could be tweaking and tinkering in here forever. And now I want to show you how you can just tweak and change certain things by reprompting. Now, again, this doesn't mean redesigning the whole page or like hoping that it doesn't change anything else, like maybe in the kind of Canva original that we had the original Canva code. This was sometimes the experience. Now you can actually select a specific section or even a single element and jump into Canva AI, and you can see that this is the preview. So you can see that Canva knows exactly what I'm prompting against, so it will know that this is just this one part that is going to be affected and everything else will stay exactly as is. This is actually part of Canva AI 2.0 and the conversational design, which was kind of a massive change that was announced at Canva Create this year. So if you want to see everything that Canva AI can do for you, you can definitely go ahead and make sure to watch this one right now. Here I can prompt for this workshop deck to link to just my website because I don't have this kind of workshop deck. Again, this is an imaginary workshop. So I can tell it to link it to the download button and to the image going to my website. So let's submit this and let's see how it's going to start working on it. Okay, perfect. It got back with this updated version. So I can click on it and now you have to believe me, it actually took me to my website. So this is something that just appeared on my second screen in here. Same goes for this image in here. Again, it just popped me to the website and I can keep going with the other resources. Another thing that I can change in here is to ask it to change the specific questions that are being asked in the feedback form. So this is what I'm asking for. Again, let's say this is going to be a longer feedback form. Would I normally ask for so many different questions? No, but I want to see how Canva Code 2.0 actually thinks about it and what it proposes for me within this new feedback form that I'm reprompting. So again, I selected this particular card and I'm asking specifically for this to be updated. Okay, voila, this is what we've got, a very, very, very long thing. So you can see that I've got all the prompts in here, everything that I've asked for is here. Now I can also ask for the stylistic changes in here, so I could kind of reprompt by, again, selecting the card and asking maybe for the button and the text to be more on brand. Okay, so I'm going for a bit more of a vague prompt with some specifics. I'm saying the button I want blue, the background light blue with the specific hex code, and the text and box outlines dark navy blue. So let's see how it prompts the whole thing. Again, could I jump in and actually change the kind of the background in here? I think I could for this one. Yeah, I would be able to actually change it myself, but I want to see what Canva AI does for me when prompted. Okay, cool. So you can see that I redesigned it and it actually did exactly what I asked it to. Again, could I jump in and ask it to change the colors for the kind of body text and the stars here above? Absolutely, I could, but I think it shows you that reprompting is actually also really, really effective. So this is my whole long feedback form in here. And let's move on to this section. Now, this section, especially I don't think I can actually change the background of it. So you can see that it selects the background, I think, of the whole design. And if I'm not mistaken, if I jump in here, yeah, exactly, I won't be able to actually change the specific background of the section. So let me actually grab this section and try to change it. So I'm uploading an image just to give it my kind of course waitlist image in here, and I'm prompting it to change the section color and the image. Now, mind you, again, I cannot really select the specific section, so I gave it the call out to exactly what I want. Okay, perfect, and it redesigned this section for me. Now I could go back and make it bigger and tweak certain things. However, I'm pretty happy that it did everything that I asked it to. So this is really cool. By the way, this part is actually true. This is not a mock-up. I am launching a Canva video editing course very soon. So if you want in, the waitlist link is going to be pinned in the description and in the comment below. And again, this shows you that you can use a page like this too, because if somebody has just enjoyed your workshop and wants to keep learning with you, especially if it was a free workshop, this is a great way to give them kind of the next thing that they can hopefully, continue learning from and also can buy from you. Let's say I'm happy with what we've got here. We're ready to publish from here. So to do this, you jump to the top and hit publish. From here, as you can see, Canva gives you, as usual, an URL. You can change this URL if you want to. You can also connect your own custom domain or buy one from Canva. And something that I also want to show you is that everything can be now previewed so that you can see the responsiveness of your page in here. So by dragging this little kind of slider, you can see that no matter what device size, you can actually preview it from what it looks like in here. So this is a really cool thing that Canva 2.0 now has and introduced for us, which is a very, very important thing to make sure that everything is displayed correctly on any device that your audience will be watching it on. Canva Code is really powerful. There's so much that you can build with it. So you can build landing pages, like resource hubs like this, portfolios, client inquiry forms, feedback forms, quizzes, calculators, little widgets. It's really super cool. It's very fun to play around with. So this is important to me. That's also very useful for small business owners and content creators. Mind you, this isn't for like the bigger, more complicated builds and projects. So maybe an online shop with inventory or like a full website with a blog attached is not really something that you would build with Canva Code. However, this is not, what it's for. It's for things like that, for simpler data collection. And for this purpose, it's actually brilliant. And speaking of data collection, Canva Code can also collect data for you. Now, if Canva sees that your code calls for collecting information somewhere, so again, a form, a quiz, a sign up, it will actually automatically connect it to a Canva sheet so that it's all set up for you easily in the background. And of course, we do have this feedback form in here. So it's not just like a pretty little placeholder that we added for fun. If you select it and go, you can actually select anything, you will see data and code at the top. So again, this only appears when Canva can see that there's information that needs to be collected inside your design. So again, I'll open data in here and you can see that it's actually telling me my app is already connected to this Canva sheet in here, and Canva created it for me. I can click on it here and you can see that it will open this sheet for me, and anything in here is actually corresponding. Every column is corresponding to the questions from my feedback. So if someone from my workshop goes and fills this section, I can actually see their answers right here. So this is a very useful tracking method for me, and it also helps me improve my business. So this is why I'm saying about it not just being a fun thing, but also something super useful for small business owners. Okay, jumping back in here, you'll also see the mentioned kind of code placed in here right next to data in the top panel. Now, if you click it, you'll get the full code for the whole thing. So you can actually copy this code and take it anywhere else you want. Now, I actually did something very similar recently with even Canva Code kind of 1.0, not 2.0, but this is a really useful thing. I've actually built a widget with Canva Code for my Notion Content Flow dashboard. Again, I'll link it for you down below because I actually wanted a clean piece of code that I could embed properly rather than like just having a published Canva website, if that makes sense. So I actually copied it and then I hosted it on Netlify, and it actually works perfectly. So this is a super cool thing. They can build things in Canva, and if you need kind of more capability or more ways to present it, you can actually take it elsewhere if that's kind of your drill and that's what you want. Now, as an extra tip for you, because once your responses start coming in, you can then ask Canva AI to actually read through them and tell you what people are actually saying. And apart from this, Canva Sheets has magic insights as well, which you can also analyze and then spot any interesting patterns for you. So you can jump to Canva AI in here, or you can jump to actions, and from here you have magic insights as well. So this will be especially important if you have more responses and you don't have to then manually analyze every single thing of it yourself. You just ask for a brief summary or ask for specifics with Canva AI. And this means, again, that you're saving a lot of time and you can jump straight to fixing what needs to be fixed, or do other useful stuff like ask Canva AI to pull any good quotes, maybe to use as social proof. So this is a really cool thing that you're getting the streamlined process, and you're actually using kind of Canva AI not just to like generate things, but also to then analyze that data that is super important for you. But I digress. Let's go back, and as promised, I want to show you this other upgrade that Canva Code just got. So importing your own HTML. Now, this is for anyone who already like has something. So maybe you coded it yourself. Maybe it's an old project that someone else coded for you. Maybe you vibe coded with a different AI tool and you want to bring it into Canva. Again, you can now do this. You can bring all of those into Canva. So all you have to do is to go to uploads on the homepage, and then you just drop in your HTML file and it will then open as a code design exactly. Now, I've done something a little bit meta. I've actually pulled my website through the Canva Claude connector. By the way, if you want to know how to connect the two tools, watch this video in here. And I've actually pulled my Canva website that I've built in Canva and for Claude to create an HTML for me. Now, mind mind you, it couldn't actually create the images. So hopefully I'll have the placeholders that will now be able to re-edit within Canva. Very meta, right? But let's open this up, and you can see in here that it just gave me those placeholders, and I have this whole kind of design in here. And you can see that just like with our previous project, it's completely editable just like it was before. So this is a super cool thing. I can just bring it in here and start designing or changing things. So again, I could jump to my elements. I can just grab this photo in here and just pop it on top just like before. Now, again, would I love to be able to just jump in here and crop like we normally would? Absolutely, I would. You can see in here that we've got this kind of frame in here that's not working. But again, I can keep popping things in here and keep building my own HTML file and editing it in Canva. And apart from this, you can also add code pieces or like codelets or widgets, whatever you call it, right inside other design types. So as an example, in here, I could like add a live poll or a quiz straight into the presentation for this workshop. Okay, this is what it generated. You can see that I have this live poll with the actual kind of live results in here as well. So a very cool thing that you could use within your presentations and in your whiteboards when you're collaborating with other people. So it's a really, really cool thing. So tell me, what will you build with Canva code? Let's inspire each other in the comments, and let me know if you've tried it yet. And if you want to build and design in Canva straight from a conversation, make sure you watch this video right now. Hit subscribe while you're here because I share Canva deep dives when updates drop, and give this video a like if you've learned something new today. It makes a massive difference to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.